Hello, 8th grade. I did a few things with the microphone to try to make it a little bit louder, so we'll see if it works out, and then, we'll adjust from there. So we are working on section 7.5, which is coordinate geometry, okay? Coordinate geometry has a few vocab terms down here, one vocab term, and that is midpoint. And midpoint is going to be a point that divides a line or segment, we'll put segment here, into two equal segments. So it divides a segment into two equal segments, which means it takes a segment and splits it in half. So if we're looking at the segment AC, the segment AC is split into two equal segments, not AC, AB, sorry. AB is split into two equal segments, and that is segment AC and segment CB. That's all this is saying. Segment AB is broken up into AC and CB. Alrighty? So, a couple things that we have here right away. We've got A, B, and C as points, and I've graphed them here. This is the point -1, 2. This is the point -1, -2. And this is the point 3, -2. And it asks us to connect all of these points. So that's what I'll do here. Okay, so I connect them all. And it wants to know the midpoint of each of these. All right? So, first things first, the midpoint of AB. If A and B are separated by 1, 2, 3, 4. So the midpoint is 4 across. That means the midpoint for AB, let me put it down here, midpoint. So the midpoint of AB has to be 2 in between A and B, okay? Because if there are 4 across, the midpoint has to be 2. Okay, so if I go down to here, that puts the midpoint at the ordered pair, -1, 0. Okay, so that's the midpoint of AB. All right, so then for finding the midpoint of BC, I have to find the distance between them, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. So then halfway in between them has to be 2. So I go 2, which I go right there. The midpoint of BC is going to be 1, -2. Now, AC is going to be substantially more difficult. So we know this is a 4-4 triangle, and we have to figure out the distance here between this triangle. One sec, let me pause the video. Okay, and it doesn't want us to find the midpoint, that's what I did check on. But we do have to find out the length of AC. And if we remember the Pythagorean theorem, that would tell us that 4 squared plus 4 squared is going to be equal to AC squared. So this is 16 and this is 16, so that ends up being 32 is equal to AC squared. So we have to square root both sides. And the square root of 32 is not something that I can do mentally. Square root of 32, close the parentheses, we'll round to 1 decimal place, is about 5.7. Alrighty, so now we have a triangle that is a 4, 4, 5.7 triangle, and we need to classify what type of triangle this is. Well, first of all, we know it's a polygon. Secondly, we know it's a triangle. And because we have 4 and 4, this has to be isosceles. So there you go. We have our classification. We found all the sides. We found the midpoints that we could. We're going to skip the midpoint on that one for now. Okay, so let's move on. Now we have to draw our own shape and then find the midpoints for each of them and classify. Okay, so we have L is -1, 3 right here. M is 2, 1, that's right here. N is 2, -3, that's right here. And O is going to be -1, -3, right there. Okay, so if I connect all the points here, whoops, try that again, there, there. Alrighty, so we have L, M, N, O. Right here we have MN is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how long that is. ON is 1, 2, 3. And OL is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we need to figure out what the length of LM is, which means we have to create a triangle right there. And then we know that this piece here is 2, and this piece here is 3. So we would have to go 2 squared plus 3 squared, once again using the Pythagorean theorem, equals LM squared. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, so it adds up to 13 equals LM squared. I do the square root of both sides, and I get the square root of 13, which is 3.6. And I have to ask myself, what type of shape is this? Well, this is a polygon. And I know it's a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. So now I have to go over the types of quadrilateral. Does it have all 90-degree angles? Nope, because that one right there says it can't be a 90-degree angle. Does it have 2 sets of parallel sides? Nope, so it can't be a parallelogram because LM and ON are not parallel, but it does have 1 pair of parallel sides. MN and LO are parallel. So this appears to be a trapezoid. So it's a polygon, it's quadrilateral, and it's a trapezoid. So let's move on. I would like you to pause this one and try it on your own and see if you can figure it out. All right, so we're back. Let's give this a try. Let's figure out what the classifications are on this one. So A is 4, 0. B is 2, -4. And C is 6, -4. Alrighty. So A, B, and C. So it looks like we've got BC is 4 across, but we need to find the values of AC and BC, which means we need to cut this into half here, which appears to be 4, and this is 2, and this is 2. So if we have a triangle that's a 4, 2 with a right there, we have to find AC. So we go 4 squared plus 2 squared equals AC squared, which is going to be 20. Equals AC squared, square root, and the square root of 20 is 4.5. Now, here's the cool thing. Because this is 4.5, we should know that this should also be 4.5, which actually should give us a hint about what this is. Okay, that means this is a polygon. It is a triangle. And the type of triangle it is isosceles, because 2 of the sides are the same, 4.5 and 4.5. Alrighty. So ABCD is a parallelogram. So we're looking for D, and we have to figure it out. So I'm just going to connect all the points first. And the thing we know is that D has to maintain a parallel side with AB. So that means that from B to A, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. So up to D, we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have to go over 1. So D has to be right there. And let's draw the picture to make sure it stays true. And look at that. We created a parallelogram because we found out how we got to the next shape. Okay, so let's move on. Midpoints under each of these. So, there's a couple different ways we can do this. But I think the easiest way is going to be averaging out what we call the horizontal component and the vertical component. So the horizontal component says that if we drew a triangle here for these 2 points, okay, if we went halfway down and halfway over, that would give us the midpoint of this shape. So from B down, and we'll call this point C, from B to C, the midpoint is going to be right there. And if we went over and connected it to the line, that means the midpoint would be there. Okay, and for AC, the midpoint has to be, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the midpoint has to be 4 over. 1, 2, 3, whoops, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And if we see this connection here, okay, that they go across the same point, that has to be the midpoint, which for this case is going to be the point 0, 4. Alrighty, so let's try this with CD. We'll make our little dashed line here to make this into a triangle, and let's say that this is going to be point E, okay? And let's find the midpoints in each of these. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4 across, the midpoint has to be right there. And if DE is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, the midpoint has to be 3 down or 3 up. And so then we dash to the middle. And I found the midpoint right there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So it's 5, negative 4. So remember, when you're finding the midpoint of a segment, create the triangle, find the midpoints of each segment, and then just connect them. Okay? So let's have you try these on your own, and then I will come around and help in just a bit. All right. So I'm assuming that you paused this and tried it out. Let's give these a try. Alrighty, so I'm going to go blue here. EF, I'm going to create the triangle, and I'm going to call this point G. And if this is 2 across, midpoint has to be there. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, so the midpoint has to be 3. Halfway in between, we connect the points, and look at that. There's our midpoint. It's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and it's up 2. So the midpoint is negative 7, 2. So let's try XY here. So I draw it down there and over there. The midpoint, we'll say this is Z. Midpoint from X to Z has to be right there. And the midpoint between X and Y is a little trickier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has to be 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we connect the points. Midpoint is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, down 2, down 3, down 4, down 5. So it is the point 4, negative 5. Alrighty, so here's your assignments. This is assignment 1. There are going to be 10 problems, so you need to get 8 of the 10 right. And assignment 2, there will also be 10 problems, so you have to get 8 out of 10 right there.